Today's video is not quite more of the same. It's close. But this is different. I've actually had this PC for a little while. I had a blue one like this that's completely torn apart at the moment. And these were the his and hers gaming PCs for me and my wife. Didn't end up really using them. But I mean, can you blame her? It's a cool case. It's an Pivia, I believe it's the QPAC 2. That's QPAC 2. But it is dinged up, scratched up. Some of the plastic rivets are right about to fall off. Some of them are missing. And it's just not up to snuff. So we're going to fix that. But first, it is officially December 1st, which means it is time for me to get this out. The oldest thing in this room is this non-holiday specific holiday tree. Yeah. Don't worry. The asbestos insulation on these wires is it's fine. It's fine. And it's non-grounded too, so you know it's extra safe. I actually haven't turned this on in a while, so ooh. Okay. There we go. Why does it not want to plug in all the way? That's fine. It's good. It's perfect. What can you ask for? It's from like the 20s, I think. Anyway. One of the bulbs blinks. But just one. That is going to be extremely distracting. There's electrical tape here, hon. Wow. I never looked at the back of the tree. Okay. That makes me feel very safe. Okay. Yeah. Every single ornament on this tree is older than I am. Great. Anyway. So out with the old. We are going to make a few changes to this build as well. So, first, let me get this power supply out. Not because we're going to reuse it, but because it is very, very much in the way. Now there is something kind of nifty about the QPAC 2 that I will show you here very shortly. But, oh, come on. It's a nifty case. Not a good one though. And we are fixing a lot of the deficiencies of this build permanently. Oh, this power supply doesn't even have SATA power. So, that's most of it. Oh boy. Well, I thought it was most of it. I will say, some of the features of this case that I will miss, and my wife probably won't care about at all, is the handle on the front. Hello, wife. And the cold cathode lighting that was in here. you know, just in case you didn't have enough blue. Everyone loves blue. This is an ATX 1.0 450 watt power supply from Raidmax. Super great. I'm sure that's very high quality. Yeah, I didn't really do very good on this particular build. Granted, that was 9 years ago, but I could have done better. Now, let's get this cold cathode out of here. I might, oh, there's 2 of them, that's right. We might try to reuse these, just because they are interesting, and we will have a case where you will actually be able to see the results. I'm about to show you what I do like about these cases very, very much. I can use this somewhere else. This. Removable motherboard tray. Very cool. You just don't see that on a lot of cases these days. And it's useful not just for getting it in and out of the computer case, but this is your test bench. Super easy to access. Oh my god, it is dirty. I don't know if I ever cleaned that. Wow. So, perfect. I build only the best computers. How much RAM did I give this machine? Looks like 4 gigs. That is way more than enough for what we're doing. We're looking at Windows XP era. If I recall, this has an Athlon 64 X2 in here. Nothing really fancy, but you know, oh my god, that was filthy. Huh. Wow, I was bad at cleaning things back in the day. Okay. Just got out of the doghouse. I'm sure she won't care. Hey, hon. What's the largest dust bunny I'm allowed to put on your chair? Not gonna respond to that, are you?
No.
Not gonna dignify that with a response. Bottom's clean. Good enough. More or less. Let me just grab, you know, I've got a brush right around here somewhere. I buried it, didn't I? There it is. Okay, it is buried. But no, this is probably going to go into its forever home now. So I might as well do this right. Or as right as I'm willing to do. Just need to get a little of this cleaned up out of here. Then we'll take it apart a little bit further and get you in closer. Okay. I have 2 ideas for CPU coolers for this particular machine. Honestly, it's fine with what's on there, but this is for my wife, so I want it nice. It was about time to redo that thermal paste anyway. Grab this cloth to clean that off. Okay, we have an Athlon X2. Looks like a 4000 plus. Good little CPU, nothing wrong with that at all. Grab some thermal paste. And here is the one that I want to use. It's a Deepcool something. Gamax 400 V2. Sure? The real question is, how do I install it? Looks like I'm going to have to take the stock mount off here. No big deal, it's easy on these AMD systems. Just these 4 screws. There's the top. And here's the bottom. Now, I will come back later. Actually, you know what? No, I'll just do it right now. And screw this back together so I don't lose pieces of it. Because I know myself. The moment I leave this room, if this isn't already put together, it's gone. And I try to save as many parts as I can. Just one more. And that's that. Stick that under the Christmas tree for someone to be disappointed about later. So, I actually have the instruction manual. That is hilarious. Okay, let's see. It doesn't tell me anything. AM4 versus just AMD, which is pretty sure from 939 all the way through AM3 Plus, the mounting holes were the same, so that's probably why they just listed as AMD. Okay, how do we get that put together here? I also don't think that this cooler is new. Pretty sure it's used, so I hope that all the parts are there. So, okay. Looks like I want these holes here. If I can even get that in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I get that right? Yes. Perfect. Okay, now I want these first, the plastic washers, 2, 3, 4, and then these 4, well, they're threaded, so they're not just spacers, they actually secure the back plate to the board. Okay. That's a fairly intelligent idea. It's almost like they knew what they were doing. Takes long enough, that's for sure. Now, I'm not tightening these super hard just yet. I want to get everything lined up before I torque them down, you know. Okay, I can adjust that a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. Now this board has good capacitors. I have not replaced them, but they're not bad. If I had the time and the money, I'd replace those capacitors, the whole board. But as I don't even know if my wife is ever actually going to fire this machine up, we're going to make it good, but without wasting unnecessary time. We are going to replace this BIOS battery. I don't care if it's good. Probably won't be for long. Just grab one of these. I've got a ton of them. Not sure why it's fighting me so much. My goodness. Okay. New BIOS battery. Back to the cooler. Okay. Looks like I want which ones do I want? The longer ones? Yes. The longer ones. Okay. And these look like they go on the top. I need to get this fan off of here actually for a moment. I can access that. So there's one. And that. Where's my other? There it is. Nope. We'll use this one. So that screw there holds on that arm. Now it's just the other side. Oh, I have to take that back off. One side is beveled and the other side is not. So you'll notice that I made a little mistake here. That should be nice and flush. That is not. So I just need to flip this over real quick. No big deal, just a minor inconvenience. There we go. Should have looked at that a little bit closer. If I can get this to line up nicely, that would be nice. There we go. That one is secure. Double check the first one. Yep. Okay, so now peel this off. We'll go ahead and apply our thermal paste now. I don't think it matters which side is which, so we're going to go ahead and fix it this way. I do have these on wrong. They're supposed to curve in. I even have the picture right here in front of me. That's one side fixed. My right hand is getting weaker. Not really sure why, but I'm dropping things lately. Anyway, I just need to be a little more aware of that. Got away with it that time, no damage to the board. Okay, now we're good to go. And it looks like after that it's just putting these on. Looks like I can get them started by hand, which is nice. Two, three. Oh. Can get them started by hand, doesn't mean it's easy. Three. And after I get this one started, we can tighten them down. I know. Riveting. Wow, I am just not having a great time right now using my hands. Try that again. Okay. One. Two. Three. And four. Now I'm going to go ahead and give them a little more tightening. I think that's good, but what does this say? It doesn't. So we're probably good then, right? Yeah. Now we can put the fan on. Okay. So where is the... There it is. CPU fan connector out here. Get that plugged in. Okay, so that's good. Which means I don't have to use whatever cooler this is. And the extra deep cool parts can just go back in the box. Clear some of this stuff off of here. So, now it's time to reveal the case that it's going to go into. Don't worry about that. The case is this one. The one that we were going to use for the Halloween special that failed so spectacularly. So, let's go ahead and adjust the camera angle. That's a little bit better. Try and dust this off a little bit. It's been sitting a while. Now, I've never actually built in this case. Someone identified it in the Halloween special, but I don't remember what they said it was. So, if you're out there, could you let me know in the comments? Because that would be nice, being able to know what this is. Just need to get all these side panels off. Ooh. And I hate tempered glass. I always think I'm going to drop it and break it. I really hope that I don't. Honestly, this case kind of reminds me of a slightly larger Thermaltake Core V3, I think? V2? I don't remember. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get this motherboard installed. Still some dust on the back of the I/O plate. I missed that. Oh boy. Another one of these. Get in there. Okay. So that's in. Let me squeeze around here, because we're going to go ahead and upgrade the power supply while we're in this thing. The 450 watts is fine, but we can do better. And I thought I had set another upgrade down right around here, so I think that I'm going to see if I can find that, because it is kind of important. Just sitting here on the couch? No, of course not. Where did I put that thing? It's got to be right around here somewhere. Took me long enough. I found it. A 500 gig SSD. That'll be more than enough for our purposes, and I can't get that off, but well, maybe I can just yeah, that's fine. It doesn't need to really go anywhere. So motherboard time. This is going to look so ridiculous in this nice brand new case. I need some screws. Question is, does it use fine thread screws? Yes, it does. Like any good modern case. Grab a couple more of these. I think I need 4 more. 5 more. I'll grab another one in a second here. Wait a minute. No. It's a coarse thread in disguise. Well, that one tightened up. Why didn't this one tighten up? What? Oh, someone probably stripped this one out in the past. That's great. Okay. Not entirely unexpected. This was a used case. And sometimes people are just great like that. You know? This one spins indefinitely too. Come on. I might just have to start with coarse thread. Oh, if it's not one thing, it's another, isn't it? It's not right, but it works. So I'm actually going to take this fine thread one out, because if some of them have to be coarse thread, then I'm going to make them all coarse thread. So at least they match. more or less. Okay, now I need 2 more coarse thread screws. More than that, actually. Let's see what I've got on hand. There's a couple. 1. Oh. The act of trying to grab it is pushing it out of the way. Oh. 2. Okay. These will do. 1 and 2. Oh yeah, this machine has definitely been, or this case has definitely been very well used. It's got different, 3 different types of screws on the back here. So, that's interesting. But in preparation for our graphics card, we need to take these out. It's 1, 2, and just for the sake of trying to get it to look decent, I'm going to try and find 1 more black coarse thread screw. You don't have to, but it would be nice to. So these go here and here. Screw these back in place real quick. Now this PC worked when it was put away about 8 or 9 years ago. So I'm going to gamble on it continuing to work. Famous last words, right? Oh, here we go. There's a black screw. Now, the graphics card. What was in here previous? We both had identical machines. They were both Athlon 64X2s, 4000 pluses with 4 gigs of RAM, and AMD, I think it was HD 4670s. Very nice cards. I love those things. But I'm giving my wife a GTX 580 because I like her and I want her to have nice things. So, just gonna socket that in right there. Goddamn GTX 580 with an Athlon X2. That is kind of a weird combination. Overkill graphics card. Very limited CPU. This motherboard might support an early Phenom X4. Probably not an X6. But I don't have an X4, I don't think. If I do, I don't know where it is. So, we've got things installed. Now we need the power supply in, which I probably should have put in first. It's fine. Let's go ahead and get that in. I think I just heard some screws rolling around in the bottom of this case. Oh, and don't forget this was the case where I had to glue the foot back on. There's that one right there. Set that off to the side. Get this stuff out of the way. We're actually going to make that USB 3 work for us. I'll show you that in a moment. In the meantime, let's get this installed. I need some additional coarse thread screws. We'll use these ones here. I probably have enough black ones to match the case, but I don't feel like hunting for those for 10 minutes. So, these ones will have to do. One. We'll go for the opposing corner here. 2. 3 and 4. Give a little bit of a tightening here, just to make sure. And we're good to go. So, we'll feed the important ones around to the top. That's GPU power, motherboard main power, and what a lot of older motherboards call the P4 power, which is just the CPU 4 or 8 pins. So we're going to stick these up here through the top. Now we also need a single SATA connector for the SSD. This is coming around to the top too, and the rest of it can just hide down here. Wait, no, that's right. We're going to have a cold cathode. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, to be honest. Maybe we won't. We'll do that last. So we need, looks like we've got USB, audio, front panel, and USB 3. So we're going to stuff those up to the top as well. And the rest of this can just get stuffed around the bottom. So let me grab one thing real quick. Pretty sure I have it sitting right in here. Just out of sight where no one can see what I'm doing. Not intentional, I've just got a big box of wires over here. Do I not have one here? I swore I did. Wait a minute. Aha! There we go. USB 3 to USB 2 adapter. Very important for this case. Because obviously this motherboard from the early to mid 2000s does not have USB 3.0. So let's go ahead and put this back on its feet, more or less. And we will start connecting things. Looks like there's some sort of fan splitter there. There's, oh my goodness, there's no fans in this case. That's a problem. Huh. Wasn't expecting to see that. We'll come to that later. Who took the fans out? Can't believe guys sold me a case with no fans. The giant fan in the front was the whole reason that I bought this darn case. The CPU connected here. Now, of course, being how old it is, it only has a 4-pin for the CPU. It does not need an 8-pin. These detangled, because I only need one SATA connector for this. Plugged in. Now for the graphics card. This is a 600 watt power supply, so this is more than enough for this. Oh, this would have been a real nice PC back in the day, or at least reasonably nice. Let's connect things that don't need adapters first, like the HD audio, which I believe is, oh, I thought it was back, there it is. Wait, is that it? AAFP? Huh. That's probably it. Weird that it's called that. But we're going to assume that is correct. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's what the old case had it plugged into, at least now that I'm thinking about it. Now our USB 2 connector. If it could not get tangled up, that would be nice. Now this motherboard has tons of those. Tons and tons of those. Now the one that needs the adapter, get it untangled from the front panel connector. It's pretty simple. You plug your adapter into the USB 3. Then you tuck it around, hiding the extra cable wherever you can, and plug the end of the adapter into the USB 2. And there you go, you have functioning USB 3 ports. They just, well, they're slow now. So, now we'll get the front panel connected. We will start with the power button and reset button. Power button is on this one in blue. It is not using the industry standard, but however, it is at least labeled. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, power button is red, reset button is blue. Now for the other ones, what have we got? Can't see anything. Power LED is green. Oh, it's one of those really weird ones that could either be 2 or 3 pin. And then hard drive LED. Okay. With that, we should be just about good to go. I need a singular SATA cable. We will not be installing a DVD drive. We can't install a DVD drive, in fact. So, looks like, stick that there. Just swing around into the SSD. Not the greatest cable management, but it will do. Side panels will hide at least some of this, but we're about ready to turn this on. So I guess now is as good a time as ever to get the cold cathodes set up. We're going to hide this in the basement of the case here. Stand this on its end. Oh, that's what's rattling around. The plastic from the foot that broke off that I glued back on. Oh. Dropped a screw. There we go. So this will hide out in the basement. I'm thinking one on each side. Yeah. I think that will look pretty good. I'll stick this under the wires just to make it easier to mount. Can I take this off? It's not screwed on. I don't really want this here. Okay. Fan splitter out. So to attach these cold cathode tubes, I'm going to need some sticky pads, which I have right over here on the other side of the camera. Come on. Okay. One pad here, because there was some adhesive there previously. kind of hide that, and it's not like it's going to go anywhere anyway, which means another pad will go here. Peel this off. I do love some good old-fashioned cold cathode tubes. These are awesome. Just like that. I really hope these work. Really, really hope these work. We're going to do the exact same for the other one. So, it's got some Velcro on it. We're going to peel that off, put our adhesive on. Now I'm actually going to unplug the, pull the SATA SSD out real quick just to make it easier to, I'm going to have to do that at a weird angle, I think. Yeah, but that'll be fine. Peel the backing off of these ones, just about ready to stick them down. Okay. Those are on. I can put the SSD back in now. I need the button to come up through here. There's my screwdriver. One of those out of there. Plug this in. Okay, now the last thing to do with the cold cathode stuff is to give it power. We have plenty of spare Molex that we are not touching. Okay, that is that. For the most part, we can just kind of set it down wherever it fits now. One side panel on, the bottom one. Please tell me down in the comment section below you got that. Please tell me you got that. Okay. Next, side panel. So this is number 2. I won't do the laugh this time, don't worry. God, I'm turning into Dad. Okay. Next side panel. We are almost done here. Now it's just the top panel. What do I want to do about a fan before I put this on? You know what? I'll be right back. Let me grab a fan. Got myself a older fan here. I think it has blue LEDs, which should match the cold cathode tubes. I really hope. And I've got some fan screws. Perfect. So where can I plug this in? That is the question. Uh-oh. Is there no other fan connectors? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, there's one. Okay. I was about to be real concerned about having to tear this thing apart again. Okay. Almost done with the core part here. This fan situated. And even with a GTX 580, we should be pretty good here. I mean, it's not a very enclosed case. And having the hot air constantly pushed out should naturally bring fresh air in. The whole front panel is basically mesh, even if there's no fans up there, which looks like I can alleviate in the future if I have to. But I think we're good for now. If she likes it, ow, oh, well that hurt a lot. Just got a spike of pain up my hand. Guess I'm left-handed for the rest of this build. Okay. 2 left to secure this fan. I hope this fan works. There's a lot of things that I'm putting in here that haven't been tested. Oh, okay. Just about done. Okay. Now, commit the cardinal sin of putting the panels all on before it has been tested. I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't look at me like that. Don't give me that look. You would do it too. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. Collect some of this trash and throw that out. And now we can see if it fires up. I've got a monitor here. I really like this Gateway monitor. It's old, but it just works. It just works. Plug this in. Now I need an adapter for VGA because that's a GTX 580. It does not have VGA built into the card, but here we go. Got ourselves a little DVI adapter. Okay. Last but not least, the PC. And just in case it does work, let me go ahead and grab a keyboard as well. And we'll go ahead and reposition the camera. Found myself a keyboard. Now, turn the monitor on, turn the power supply on. Well, that's anticlimactic. Uh-oh. There could be a problem with the case front panel, which would be very disappointing. But let's go ahead and take this panel off. Having it not do anything, that is not good. What do I do about that? Let's pull the 580. That's the most likely cause of this. If there's a short in the 580, that would suck. That could prevent it from powering up. Now let's plug that power switch back in just to see if that... You can get that plugged in. See if that was our culprit. I'll try a couple more things here. BIOS battery out. Oh dear. It could be the cold cathodes. If that is shorted somehow. Well, that's a problem. A problem that I was not expecting. Try something here. Mislabeled. Okay. Try holding, make sure that I've got it correct. My God. Okay. Get this plugged back in. Get the 580 back in here. Everything else should still be good. Before I secure that, let's go ahead and test it. Make sure we get a video output at least. If we get a video output, then there's a good chance that it works. Plug the SSD back in. There's always something. Now, let's try this again. Well, the cold cathodes work. Oh, I've got a... Oh, man. You know, let's wait for a video output. I need to put the BIOS battery back in. Keyboard's responding. No video output yet. We'll power cycle it once. And if that doesn't work, we'll switch to the other output, the other DVI port. And if that doesn't work, we'll switch to a different graphics card. I wonder, actually, is it a BIOS setting maybe? We'll try connected to the onboard video. And those cold cathodes get bright. It's a no to the onboard. I'm going to give it one more shot for this GTX 580. It would be nice if it worked, but it's one of those cards I just have not tested. The double rev of the fan doesn't sound super healthy. Oh dear, okay. I think it's time that I found a different card. But first, let's see. Let's make sure, rather, that I get video out from the onboard. Huh. Is there... The port's pretty loose, but let's try putting the BIOS battery back in. It could be a memory issue. Looks like I have two different types of memory in here. This here is ECC. Oh my God. How could I have done that to myself? 580's going back in. How did I do that? This PC was working when I put it away. Did I stick extra RAM in it and just never finish testing it? I am a silly boy. Okay. One final test. If this works, we can go ahead and install Windows XP. And I've shown Windows XP's installation 1,000 times on my channel. I don't need to show it again. So, because I trust it, that sounds better. Yes. Okay. Oh, that is so good. Perfect. So let me go ahead and cut the camera, and we will be back when we are on the desktop. Well, we've got a pretty big problem. This PC keeps randomly turning off, and I'm not really sure why. I'll get halfway through installing Windows and it'll just turn off. Strangest behavior I've ever seen. And this is a problem because now I have to extract this motherboard and redo the CPU cooler. So, yeah, great. As far as fixing it, remember how I mentioned the capacitors weren't bad? Well, they're probably out of spec, which is most likely what's causing this issue. So, I think that the fix is a replacement. Not for the capacitors, that'll come later. I'm talking whole motherboard replacement. And, it is cold in here. Come on. Not super happy about this. So it's time for me to fess up on something. It wasn't December 1st when I started to record this video. I said it was December 1st because I anticipated releasing the video on December 1st. Well, now it actually is December 1st, and I'm rapidly running out of time. So, I've got to extract this. And here's where things are going to get kind of unknown. That cold cathode tube there will interfere with any motherboard that tries to screw into that thing there. So I think what I might have to do is take this SSD out for one. Take this, oh come on, thumb screw out here that holds the SSD carrier and replace it with a standard flatter screw. So I can shuffle the cold cathode over a little bit. Wow, that is tight. Oh, that was tight. No wonder it's still there. Yeah. Great stuff. Where are my screws? Here's one that should work. Actually, I can move this over a bit here. And if I can peel this cathode up, then we can shuffle it over just a bit. And I think that will work. Okay. Time to get the rest of this out of here. Oh boy. Alright. It looked like it was working fine, but thing must have turned off on me like 8 times. It would average between 10 and 15 minutes of being powered on before just shutting down. So that's a bummer. Anyway, we get to build another one. Oh dear. Now, I have a couple of motherboards that would work perfect in this case. They'd be an excellent choice for a vintage machine. But the problem is I'm not just looking for a vintage machine. This is going to be for my wife. So it has to be good. You know, it has to be reliable. It has to do everything she tries to do with it, whether or not it's a good idea. There cannot be any fuss. It just has to work. Which means, if I put something in here like a Pentium 4 with AGP, she's probably going to play a late XP era game and wonder, why is this not running? Why is this performing like crap? So I have to give her something that's slightly overpowered. But that's fine, you know, everyone enjoys things in their own different ways, and my wife, unlike myself, does not enjoy fiddling around with things and gaming at low frame rates. So, we have a couple of options for replacement boards. I have this one, which is nearly identical, but I think we're going to skip this. I don't actually know if this one works. Could test it real quick, but I have a better idea. I am thinking of this Core 2 Duo system. Right now it's got a Celeron D inside it, so we will be replacing that immediately if this works. Actually, I'm wondering, is this... No. Almost, but no. That's okay. Capacitors look good. Let's give this one a shot. Let's just kind of throw it in here, see if it even fits with that cold cathode in the way. Just barely. That just barely fits. So, while we've got it here, let's go ahead and we'll grab the cooler as well, of course. Where's the... There it is. Just want to make sure it works. It would be very upsetting to do this only to find out that it doesn't work. So we are... Where's my thermal paste? It's all the way back here. Ugh. Oh yeah, I forgot to plug the tree back in. I don't want to plug it directly back in because that plug was really, really hard to pull out last night. Do I have something else that'll work? No, I don't think I do. Oh well, here we go again. Oh, okay. Just gonna leave it like that. So, oh yeah, no, thermal paste. Let's see if this functions. I really, really hope it does. So I need VGA. I need a little more of this VGA untangled. There we go. Look at what I did. Okay. There we go. I need a cooler, which I have here. Oh, what the heck? What is that? What is that? I need to get my isopropyl alcohol and try to clean that off before I fire this thing up. Okay, got the isopropyl. What is that? Of course, the cathode's in the way. Doesn't seem to be coming off at all. Huh. This board might not work. Ugh. Well, I guess let's give it a shot. Ram in cooler. It's just going to be set on top of it, which is fine for a moment. Oh, why do they have to put the... There we go. Okay. Does it work? I need a way to short it. Oh. This will do. Power supply on. Front panel. That's a no. There we go. Okay. That's a good sign, but does not necessarily mean that this board will work for what I need. So here's what I need to do. I need to get this Celeron out of here and put a Core 2 in. So first clean this up so I don't get it everywhere. Get this out. Now where are my CPUs? There they are. I looked up the CPU support for this board before I began this particular filming session, and it does not support quad core. Oh, that was my zipper moving things around. So we're going to go with a someone's yelling outside. We're going to see what we've got. Oh, I'm grabbing our Xeons. Is this all Xeons in this one? I think it is. Okay, go for this one. Pentium D. Not ideal, but potential. E8400, that's too new, unfortunately. Another Celeron. Pentium dual core, that technically works. I don't know much about those. I want to avoid the NetBurst architecture if I can. Core 2 Duo. 4400, that would work. We're going to set that aside. Got another Pentium 4. Another Pentium 4. Another Pentium 4. Core 2 Quad, that will not work. Pentium D 915, that's worse than the Pentium D. We have it set aside. Celeron 430. Another Pentium D 945. And another Celeron D. So let's get these. Oops. Put these back in here. We're going to go with that Core 2 Duo 4400. Okay. I'm going to get these all back in, and I don't want to put the Core 2 back in. Okay. Okay. Core 2. Okay. Get this back into position. Does it work? Survey says no. That did not work. Huh. Well, that's not good. Once again, we'll get that cleaned off so I don't spread it everywhere. That should have worked. Now what? Oh dear. Get my CPUs back out. I want to avoid net burst if possible. Let me look up some of these other CPUs I have to see, because I don't know anything about the Pentium dual core. I don't know if those are still net burst or what. I'll be right back. Research complete. And the Pentium E2200 is a Conroe-based Core 2 CPU. Which means I'm okay with putting it in, assuming it works. Oh, there's a bunch of crap on the pads. Shoot, I'm glad I checked. Let me clean that real quick. Just a bunch of thermal paste from mishandling, really. That's just about got it. And that has. So we're going to kind of clean the rest of it real quick. Okay. Dry the isopropyl. And we should be good. So, question is, will it work? It's also entirely possible that this board needs a BIOS update in order to support these CPUs. It would be nice if it worked. That's looking like a no. Oh dear. This board probably needs a BIOS update. So, let's move on to a different board real quick. I don't have a lot of micro ATX boards. So, well, let me rephrase that. I have a whole bunch of micro ATX boards, but they're all like socket 478 or socket 462. 478, of course, is the 32-bit Pentium 4s. And, oh, VGA is still connected. Socket 462 is AMD's Athlon. Oh dear. Neither of those are quite fast enough for my wife. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But at this point, let's go ahead and test this board, which I'd like to give her Core 2, if I'm to be honest. I would very much like to give her Core 2. One, two. I don't know about this one. These videos always turn into something like this. It can never be simple. That's okay. I have fun doing this. My wife does not. That's why we're doing this. Okay, so I need... This is socket AM2. So I need to get out my AMD CPUs. Don't have that many of those. Let's see. Standard Athlon 64. Nothing special about this one. I think that this will fit. Yes, it will. Stick that over there for now. Get this cooler back in place. Too big. Shoot. And it only needs to be on for like a minute. And by that I mean a few seconds. Goodness, this is... Maybe if I turn this one sideways. There we go. Now let's see. CPU fan. Why does everyone on these old boards put them so close to the memory? Okay, so that's in, power's on. Make sure this is lined up. Now where's the power button? Oh, VGA is not connected. There it is. Can't forget that. Won't get much on the screen if the screen's not connected. Okay, try that again. I think I need to go digging for boards. Okay. I'll be right back. I know the lighting isn't great, but we're back in the motherboard box here. And I have a couple of options. This one is some sort of A6 series, I think. Comes with the I/O plate too. I think that's a really good option. I don't know if this one works. But it's a little bit newer than I'm going for anyway. Too big. Most of those are too big. Or too old. Seeing an awful lot of Pentium 4s and stuff like this. What's this one? That's my handiwork. This one works. I know this one works. I replaced the capacitors on it. Option. It's an option. Set it somewhere where it doesn't fall down. What's this? Too old. I think this one's going to be our winner. Let's get that installed. Well, I mean, these other ones were worth a shot. I'll have to update the BIOS on that 775 motherboard later, so we can use better CPUs in it. But for now, I'm going to use that, whatever that motherboard is. Looks like it's some sort of pre-built motherboard, probably from an HP. It said Pegatron on it. We'll keep that with this motherboard. I will fix this eventually. Someday. So, here we go. This one's an awful lot newer than the other ones. We're looking around 2012-ish, I believe, give or take. Maybe even newer. We could keep this cooler. That's not too bad. If it's quiet. Let's find out. If I can even get it to line up, what the heck? There we go. So, first things first, get all this plugged in. Keeps sliding out. There we go. Need some memory, but I think this is DDR3. Yes, it is. What do I have for DDR3? I'm gonna have to dig something out, aren't I? Yes, I am. Do not be like me. Organize your stuff. Do not do what I do. This is DDR3. Whooshkin. Let's see if this works. Well, that tall one really does not like being next to that cooler. Okay, not that one. Patriot. This one also doesn't like being next to the cooler, but it's probably fine. So, now, where's the front panel on this one? It's not labeled, so I'm going to guess. I didn't plug in the VGA again. Let's power cycle it. Also, this looks like it should be glowing or something. Now this motherboard should work. I'm pretty sure this one works. You know what? I'm going to screw in 2 of the motherboard hold downs just to keep it from going all over the place while I'm working on it. I'll try a different stick of RAM. Okay. I think this one's ECC, but AMD is usually pretty good about supporting that. Okay. That looks like a no. Oh, wait a minute. Hey. Okay. This system does work. Error, system fan has failed. Okay. Does it want me to plug in the rear fan? Where do I plug in the rear fan? Oh, here we go. Let's try. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and plug in the power switch to make this easier for myself. I think she'll like this better anyway. It's got, it probably has 4 cores. System fan has failed. It's plugged in. Interesting. Well, let's get another stick of RAM in there. What do I have that looks good? Not those. That is FB DIMMs. Try these. Set this aside because we know it works. Oh, that's right. Tall. Oh, man. Okay. Well, what do we have? Well, wanting to just load it up with RAM. Remember, we're doing Windows XP here, so... Matching set. get a keyboard plugged in. Oh, it doesn't actually have PS2 ports. I need a different keyboard. I will be right back. Keyboard acquired. Let's get into the BIOS. In fact, speaking of BIOS, let's steal the BIOS battery out of this one. Put it in this one. It doesn't seem to like both of those sticks of RAM. Are the slots labeled? They're not. Cool. Try this. Well, there's something at least. Let's see. Press F2 to continue. Well, that's something at least. Let's maybe delete. I missed the prompt. Darn it. Which button is it? I'll be right back. Well, I finally got into the BIOS. It turns out the system really does not like that rear fan. So I've got a few others I can try, but right now I've got a fan in there that it will work with. Now here's the confusing thing. Look at this. It does not recognize that there's any RAM installed. I have never seen that before. So it recognizes the type, PC3-8500, but not the capacity or that anything's installed. That is so weird. So I think that's due to the fact that it's ECC. So I'm going to, off camera, shuffle things around and see if I can find some normal memory that works. And a different fan. Oh my god, this thing is so picky on RAM. I have 2 sticks of 2 gigs that are finally both detected. Now they are different timings, there are different rankings as well. One of them is 2 rank by 8, one of them is 256 meg by 64, which is not ideal, and I do not want this system to be unstable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these both aside and just kind of keep testing to see if I can find 2 at least closely matching sticks. Didn't think I'd be testing RAM today, but here we are. Oh dear. Well, the answer is no. I did get a couple of other sticks to work. This thing is so picky. But all the ones that I got to work didn't work together. These are the only 2 sticks that I could get to work perfectly together. I had a few others where the system would boot. Well, it would post at least. It could get into the BIOS. But it couldn't see their capacity, which is really weird and just not something I trust. So, here we are. If this ends up being unstable, we'll just yoink that second stick out and run in single channel. We're going fast with DDR3, so hopefully, if it comes to that, the speed of DDR3 will make up for the fact that it's not dual channel. Anyway, Let me put this back together. Let me clean all this stuff up. Let me install this red fan and yeah, get back to where we were before. Also, this cooler does have lights. They're just really, really dim, so I think these lights have failed. Or I'm not really sure. But we're keeping it for now. It's not like it's gonna overheat, I'll tell you that. So anyway, let me get this put back together. It'll be easy, he said. It'll be a fast video, he said. The PC already works. All you've got to do is put a new case on it and put a graphics card. That's it. It'll be fast, he said. I've had myself an idea. What if, hear me out, what if we went ahead and redid this at a later date? What if we bought a brand new motherboard, like a G45 or something, from AliExpress? What if we rebuilt my wife's vintage gaming PC using one of those? I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't think my wife would care where the motherboard came from, as long as it works. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Would that be an interesting video? I think it would be. Not that I'm looking forward to ripping this all apart and building it again. Believe me, I'm not. But every motherboard I've tried today has had some sort of issue. And those AliExpress motherboards may be low quality, but they usually work first try. I just realized every single screw, except for the ones holding the core on, is missing from this 580. And the ones on top are stripped out. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Get all this stuff plugged back in. I didn't plug in the front panel. All right. I think we're ready to go. Oh, you're kidding me. I got power reset backwards. But we have... No, it is an HP. Okay. Do the gold cathodes still work? Yes. let's, why is it not moving past the screen? We locked up. Let's just save ourselves the headache. We'll go ahead and get rid of the, Really? What is going on? Let's get rid of the second stick of RAM, see if that helps. Is it displaying out over the onboard? No. What is going on? Ooh. I'll be right back again. Well, I figured it out. It was not that stick of RAM. It's trying to boot off of the SSD, but it has a partial Windows XP installation on it that was cut halfway through during a power loss, so it's just locking up when it tries to boot from the SSD. So, I think, at this point, maybe I can finally install Windows XP and get to the desktop. And as long as nothing weird happens, the next time you'll see me, we will finally be back to making progress. I was wrong, by the way. I accidentally went into the diagnostics instead of the boot menu, and the CPU is an Athlon 2 X4, specifically model 630. I thought this was a like an A6 APU or something, but hey, I'll take that. Pretty sure that's faster, so now, usually with an HP F9 is to get into the boot menu, but in this case I think it's F11. Let's try this again. See you on the desktop. I am very, very quickly running out of time. I have an entire another motherboard in here. The other one that I was just all hyped up about getting ready to go with the Athlon 2. Yeah, it doesn't recognize hard drives at all. It doesn't recognize anything plugged into the SATA ports. I even tried the M-SATA port on the board, and it wouldn't recognize that either. So we have another similar era HP machine. I don't know the specifics, but this one actually has the A6 that I thought was in the other machine. So we're going to go with this one, assuming it can see hard drives. So I'm, what, 4 motherboards in now, and I've got another one here as a backup. I'm not going to film this section, I just want to get this done. So let me get this all buttoned back up. Well, the good news is we finally found a motherboard that functions seemingly completely. I'm getting the applause. She doesn't know how long I've been working on this. So, oh goodness. We're going to go ahead and use Snappy Driver Installer to get all the drivers updated on this machine. It should have drivers for just about everything. And while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get the panels buttoned back up because, as far as I'm aware, I have everything plugged back in. And the front USB works. So, we will be back shortly. Honestly, I'm not too happy with this PC. It's not quite what I wanted to build for my wife. It works perfectly fine. It crushes most video games. Railroad Tycoon 3, however, on the absolute maximum settings, just crushes any card that I throw at it. I mean, this is a GTX 580, and it's just... We might be getting the high 30s if we're zoomed out a little bit, but zooming in, I mean, we're tickling the 20s. So, I don't know. Spec-wise, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But it doesn't have the personal touch that I had originally envisioned for it. It doesn't have the same vibe, if that makes any sense. Here, I wanted to use this. Really wanted to use this, and I cannot mount this cooler to this motherboard, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, I am out of time, so we're going to have to leave it at this. However, before we go, I did actually manage to record a little bit of footage, and the frame rates recorded in the footage are incorrect. Don't go off of those. That's Fraps. This is Windows XP, and Fraps is one of the few programs I could use to actually record. Luckily, Fraps also has a benchmarking mode.
Watch your flank. One more to go. Listen up, man. Before we...
Holy shit.
Play.
As you can see, all the games functioned fine. Unreal Tournament, we were averaging around 250 frames per second when we were in the midst of battle. It did dip down as low as 150 at one point when I had the Redeemer, but crushed that game, no issues there. Star Wars Battlefront seems to have some sort of 80 frames per second limitation built into the engine. I cannot seem to get around that. But the good news is we're locked at it, and 80 frames per second is fine, let's be honest. As you can see, Railroad Tycoon 3 continues to just destroy anything I throw at it. So, there is that. But, so yeah, I'm not upset about the hardware, but I want it to be better. I want to build this better. I don't want to use some HP, some motherboard from an old HP. So tell me what I should do. Should I pick up a new motherboard for this from eBay? Should I get one from AliExpress? Or should I replace the capacitors on this one in the hopes that maybe it'll stop randomly turning off, because that was the issue with this one? What should I do? Let me know in the comments down below what you think I should do for this machine, how I should finish it. And if you liked this video, go ahead and leave a like, Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Although this video didn't end up quite how I hoped it would, well, I still managed to get it out, so there is that. Thank you very much to my patrons for helping support me through this. And thank you to my wife for tolerating me. Yeah. Thank you for watching.